Okay, it's 1 o'clock, so I'm going to get started. Thank you everyone for joining. My name is Janet Granger, and I'm your host and one of your presenters today on the Marine Ad Network's Marketing Webinar Series. Today's webinar is titled Email Isn't Dead, Why and How It Works for the Marine Industry. And I'm here today with Melanie Kyle of Kyle Media, owners of the Marine Ad Network and sponsors of these monthly webinars. First, before we get started, I want to take care of just a couple of housekeeping items. Everyone has been placed in silent mode, so if you have questions, please use that chat box you see on your screen on the bottom right. We'll answer questions at the end of the presentation, so feel free to post your question at any time. And if we don't get to your question in the time that we have, we will get back to you by email afterwards. And of course, please let us know if you want someone to speak with you one-on-one afterwards about anything that we've talked about here. Second, we will be sending out this presentation afterwards, so no need to ask, you'll get the link. We have your emails from when you registered, so we'll try to get this out as quickly as we can to you in the next 24 hours. Third and finally, please do feel free to forward this recording when you get it to anyone you think might benefit from this information. We are doing these webinars on a monthly basis, and we hope that you'll share and that you will join us again in the future. As you'll see, we have a new little bar at the top of the presentation that allows you to sign up for the next webinar on March 12th. So we're excited to have that. All right, so let's get started. All of you are here to hear about email and why it isn't dead and how it works. So just as sort of a proof point on this, I went out and found some very interesting statistics. I put the link at the bottom here so you can go look at the source yourself. But there have been lots of different studies, and they're ongoing all the time, about how many people, workers in the United States, check their work emails, whether they're working or outside of working hours. And as you can see here, we are, especially with lots of people working in remote geographic locations and having, their smartphones, we as a population in the US are checking our emails all the time. You can see 49% of people are checking them every few hours, some every hour, some multiple times an hour, and some, like me, constantly. So as you can see, email isn't dead, especially in the workplace. There's something, I don't know if this is good news or bad news, but another statistic which shows workers in the US checking their emails and what they're doing. So people are checking their emails, before they go to bed, before they wake up, as they wake up, in the bathroom for better or worse, during meal times, and even when they're having face-to-face conversations, which, I'm sure doesn't thrill all of us. But again, this just goes to show you people are checking just to make sure that work doesn't need them. There's nothing hysterical all the time. So that is why if you have someone's work email, it's a really good way to get in touch with them. And this statistic also says if you have their personal email, it's still a good way to get in touch with them. People are checking their emails, 24% many times a day. Versus a few times a day, versus once a day. Only 19% are checking less than once a day when it comes to checking their emails. So, I hope these 3 slides have pretty much solidified the fact that email isn't as dead as people may say it is. It may be old-fashioned, but it is one of the major ways that businesses are communicating with people. So, we promised you tips and tools, so that's where we're going to go next. The first tip I'm going to tell you about, one of the best ways to use email is to send out newsletters. This is one of the best way ways to stay in touch with your current clients or customers. It keeps you top of mind with them. And if you do it right, you are providing really important, what we call value added information for your clients and even to new prospects if they're not your clients yet. Especially in the marine industry, I have seen some fabulous uses of newsletters. So I'm going to show you one of my favorites. This is done by a marina, actually two sister marinas up in Connecticut, and they put out this incredible newsletter called Harbor Talk Weekly. They do it on a weekly basis, and it gets absolutely phenomenal open and click-through rates. Obviously, that's proprietary information, so I can't tell you, but I will tell you that they've been doing it for many, many years, as long as email's been around. They've been sending out this newsletter, and it just goes to show you that if you send the right content, you can get high open rates because people actually look forward to reading what you have to say. As you can see here, they have links all over the place to the homepage for the marinas, to the Contact Us page. This is just their Valentine's Day newsletter. It goes on and on and on. I just clipped the very top of it. But as you can see, you think about this is a marina in the Northeast. This isn't even high season. This is when, it's snowy and cold and people are not on the water. But it's a great way to stay engaged with clients and customers, even in the off season. And as I said, this is a weekly newsletter. And they get fabulous open rates because it's classes and funny videos, boat parking fails, you name it. They have really interesting content. So sending out a newsletter via email is one of the best ways that you can not only engage your customers, but you can keep them, you can be top of mind, even if you're in a seasonal business and it's off season. The second big tip is make sure that you use easy third-party platforms. There are great platforms such as Constant Contact that allow you to send emails that look absolutely fabulous. You don't have to know how to code. You don't need fancy software. It's really, really easy now to send wonderful looking emails. So no excuses. Just get on one of these platforms, MailChimp, Constant Contact, etc. I will let you know that I'm a Constant Contact partner. So full disclosure, I use them a lot, and I encourage my clients to use them. Let me just give you an example of one of the great kind of emails you can send out. These are my examples so that I have permission to use them. This example is just a holiday greeting card. I sent this out to everyone on my list just to say happy holidays and to let everyone know that I'm thinking of them in the holiday season. Now, the great thing about Constant Contact is they have all sorts of templates that you can use all set up. I didn't design this. I went in, I changed the image that you see there of the snowflakes. I added the copy and the message. And, all the little social things at the bottom, put them so they went to my pages. You can customize things to be absolutely about you, and they're there. They're pre-made for you. So there's no need to worry about, I don't have anyone to design this for me. You don't need a designer if you are now using these third-party platforms. One of the other great things that they do for you is they show you with the mobile view of your email. So we know that probably more than 60% now of people are opening up their emails on their smartphones. So it's really important that emails that you send out look good on smartphones. So what Constant Contact does, as do others, is it shows you both the desktop view and the mobile view. So as you can see here, it's the exact same design. It's stacked one on top of the other, so it looks good. As you can see, I cut and paste these things together. But it's really important to make sure that whatever you create looks good on people's phones. And Constant Contact shows you exactly what it will look like. Once you've created and sent your email, then you want to know what happened. Again, one of the great things these third-party platforms have is really easy to understand and track reporting. So one of the things I often tell my clients is, don't bother doing anything if you're not going to measure it. So I'm a stickler about measuring. And again, this is my data. I'm not sharing anyone else's data. But when I sent out an email, I got 38% open rate. What's interesting now is you can see here that 67% open on their desktop and 32% opened on their mobile phone. Again, because this was sort of a B2B type email. And it tells me in my list how many people were sent successful deliveries, how many people opened it, how many people clicked on it, how many people didn't open it, everyone who didn't subscribe, and anyone who might have said that I was spam. It's really important to go back and look at how your emails did so you can see what worked and what didn't work. You can test new things. Again, once you have these things all set up, it's really easy to send one email string or a few, which Melanie will talk about in just a minute. And what you should be doing if you're practicing sending out your emails and your newsletters is growing your email list. You can add a form to your website that can capture any visitor's email address and use these opt-ins when they've given you full permission to send your newsletters or a whole string of emails to start warming up your prospects for possible sales. So what does this mean? What does it look like? Again, I gave you another example from my website. This is an opt-in form. So you can have these forms pop up, not annoyingly, every time you go to a website. I will tell you, I've stopped reading One Magazine now because every time I go to their site, I want to read an article and I get 3 pop-ups in my face. That's not a really good user experience. A better user experience is to create one of these forms and make it pop up when someone has spent enough time on your website that they are serious and they really want something from you. So, for example, if they've spent 3 or 5 minutes on your website, maybe if they've scrolled all the way down to one of your pages. So this is the pop-up I have on one of my sites for people to sign up for my newsletter. It's very clear what they're signing up for. Get more secret tips to great marketing. All they need to do is put in their name and their email and say, I want to hear. And that way they go onto my email list. And I keep that list really carefully. Why is it important for you to be careful with your email lists? Well, there's something called CAN-SPAM regulations here. There are GDPR regulations in Europe, and you as an emailer need to be very responsible about your lists. I couldn't do an email presentation without cautioning that you really need to be good about this. You don't want to be a spammer. And this is a little excerpt from the back of Constant Contact where it tells you of your contacts who's active, who has implied permission, who has expressed permission saying, yes, I want to get your emails, who has unsubscribed. It's really important at the bottom of every single email you send out that you have an unsubscribe link. And that's a best practice because you have to give people the option to opt out of hearing from you. And again, what's great about these third-party platforms is their templates all have that unsubscribe at the bottom. So you're being compliant with CAN-SPAM regulations. And if someone sends you an email saying, please take me off your list, you need to honor that. If you want to maintain your stellar reputation in the market, you need to be nice and take people off the list if they want to be taken off the list. Again, if you're sending to Canada, for instance, you need to be aware that they have a, English and French regulation. These are all things you should be aware of so that you're compliant with them. And it can make your emailing really, really successful. All right. So our last tip, I'm going to let Melanie talk about.
Thanks so much, Janet. That was some great information. Hey, everybody. I'm Melanie Kyle with the Marine Ad Network, and I am going to talk about drip marketing, our drip email campaigns. This is something that not everybody's familiar with, but probably more than likely each of you have experienced receiving some sort of drip email campaign. So drip means ongoing. It means automated. So you're automatically sending emails out to people who maybe have subscribed to your newsletter, who have, if you're a boat broker, if they've requested more information on a particular boat, if you have e-commerce, maybe somebody that signed up to get your weekly promotions that you're having, any of those things. So this is all automated. So once we set this up, you're not going to be having to go back and do work each time you get someone signing up for your newsletter. So it's going to save you hundreds of hours of time in the long run to spend the time to get this set up. So drip marketing is a great way to warm up your prospects and leads. It's a great way to stay engaged with your customers over a certain period of time as well. So let me show you an example here of a drip marketing campaign and how it would look. And it looks complex here, but really what we're doing is we're putting our customers into silos, or to verticals that I like to call them. Okay, so are they interested in sailboats? They may be going into a sailboat vertical. Are they interested in fishing boats? They may be going into a fishing vertical or silo. So there's many different ways of looking at this, but the first thing you want to do is think about how you're going to segment your customers into these different silos. So let's say, for example, that they're on your website and they sign up to receive a white paper. So just like an article, a case study about something that your company is doing. And so we're going to send that email out automatically because you have your drip marketing set up correctly. And then what's going to happen is in the background, your drip marketing software is going to say, okay, have they opened this email or have they not opened this email? If they've not opened the email, we're going to send them another one, but this one's going to include a video. So this isn't going to be something that they're going to be required to read. So maybe they don't want to read it. Maybe it's too time consuming. So we're going to go the video route now. And so we're going to try to get them to open this email up and watch a video about our product. If they did open that email up and take the time to read that white paper, great. That means they're really interested in the product that you have to offer. So at that point, this particular campaign, they're sending out even more information in terms of an ebook. Now, I know many of you guys probably don't have an ebook. That's really more B2B and marketing in the marketing world. But again, there's lots of different things that we can send out here. But this particular example, they're sending out an ebook. So the ebook would obviously go into way more detail about the company and what they have to offer. So if we go back up to the top, let's say we sent the video email out. Did they open it? Yes or no? And then again, it goes on from there. If they didn't open that second email, all right, so they're probably not interested in our product. And we'll just stop emailing them to pester them now, and we'll re-engage them later, maybe a month from now when we have a new promotion going on or a new type of product that we want to introduce. If they did open it, that's when we're going to, again, send them more content. And so you can just see each silo just keeps going and going and going until you eventually captured that lead and captured that information and schedule a demo or scheduled a showing or actually made the sale. And that's when this particular drip campaign would end. It's really important to make sure, though, that you've got this set up to where you're not pestering people, because I'm in a drip marketing campaign right now with a company, and they send me emails every single day that are just full of information that would take me hours to get through. And I find it kind of annoying, to be honest. So it's really important that you schedule these every couple of days, and you just be very cognizant of the time that it's going to take for these people to view your information and go through your information. But this just kind of gives you an idea on how that would look. And again, there are hundreds of different ways that you can set up your funnels and your email chains here. But again, everything here that you're seeing done is being done automatically. So think about all the time that's going to save you and your sales reps in the back end, not having to go and find out who signed up to find out more information and send them an email and then log it into your CRM system and set another reminder that you need to follow up with them in a couple of days to see if they had a chance to review your material. So this is fully automated. Yes, it's going to take some time to set it up. Yes, it may take you some time to write up all these different emails, but once you've taken that time, it's going to save you hours on the back end. So just something to think about. So again, benefits of drip marketing. One, timely information. Again, what we said. I always find it amazing when I sign up to receive more information and immediately I get an email in my inbox that has a lot of the information that I was requesting, which is great. Pricing, breakdown of what services the company has to offer. And it's right there in their inbox within 5 minutes of them requesting information without having to have a salesperson get on the phone with them within that first 5 minutes. So it's very timely. You're getting in front of them when they're the most interested, not 24 hours later when they've forgotten they even submitted an email for you for more information. Lead nurturing. So you're building trust here. The more you email, the more you become trustworthy to them, the more likely they are to open your emails in the future and to engage with you on that level and to find out more information, to go to your website, to watch your videos, do any of that stuff. So it's just really a trustworthy way of engaging with your clients and customers. The next benefit we've talked about, and I think for me and my company, this is the best thing for us because we're not a huge staff here. And so automation, anything that we can do to streamline our sales process to where it doesn't take as much time for our sales reps, the better. That means they can get on the phone 10 more times than they could if they had to spend time sending out individual emails. So it really speeds up that sales process. And the last thing, tracking and monitoring. If you've dealt with business in the Marine Ad Network, you know that we're very into analytics and tracking and monitoring things. And so again, this is something that is a big benefit for doing this type of marketing, is because you can really track and see, okay, our video emails are getting opened 10 times more than our newsletters, for example. So you're really going to be able to gauge over a few months of really what's capturing the attention of your potential clients. And you're going to be constantly tweaking this and re-engaging those clients with different things that have higher success rates. And in the end, you're going to be able to tell, my drip marketing, as a result of my drip marketing, we've closed X amount of sales at the end of the year. And so you're going to really be able to see how much benefit this provides to your company in the end. All right, that is my spiel on drip marketing. Janet, I will let you talk here about the best email tips that you have here.
Yeah, so I just wanted to summarize everything that we talked about. The first thing is, of course, emails are the best way to send out newsletters. And you can send newsletters on a monthly basis. You can send newsletters on a weekly basis. I don't recommend more than that, but certainly I do recommend newsletters as a great way to stay in touch with existing clients and customers and to nurture new ones. We do recommend these third-party platforms such as Constant Contact. They take care of a lot for you. They take care of those drip email campaigns that Melanie just went through. And also, it's a great way to grow your email list. You can create a site on your website, a form on your website, and get more and more people to sign up to get information from you, always being responsible about how you manage that list. So that's the end of our presentation. If you haven't put any questions in yet, please feel free to put in questions and we will try to answer them all here. And as I said, if we don't get to them all now, we will send you a response separately afterwards. So, okay, this is in the lines of, I'm going to start with the first question along the lines of what Melanie was talking about, which is, how often should I be sending emails? Can you send too much? The answer is, of course you can send too much.
Yes.
And I think one of the good ways you can think about it is, use yourself. How often would I think is too often, right? I mean, I think, not everyone can use themselves, but if you use yourself as the barometer, I think that's a really good way to think about it. The other thing is, your open rates and your click-through rates will tell you. There's another question here. What's a good click-through rate and open rate? It just depends on how qualified your list is, and it depends on what kind of email you're sending out. Some standards are anywhere from I want to say 12 to 19% is a good open rate. But if it's a newsletter that people are expecting, and it's a good newsletter, we're talking anywhere from 20, could be 26, 30, 35%. So it depends. The click-through rate has to do with the links, the quality of the links, and what the links are. But a good click-through rate could be something as low as 1.5%, or it could be as high as 5 or 6%. I hope that's helpful in terms of those types of numbers. One of the best ways, I'm working with a client now, and we're trying to figure out the right cadence for emails, and we got great open rates for the first one, and we were doing it 2 a week for a while. Now we're doing it 1 a week, and we are definitely seeing by the open and click-through rate that there is some fatigue. You can see fatigue over time if you're doing it too often, especially if you have an in-season and an out-of-season the way they have. In-season, it was actually fine to send a couple times a week. Out-of-season, it seems like every 2 weeks is a better cadence. And that's just something that you find out through testing, for example. Okay, how do I come up with a newsletter every month? All right, that's a good question. So if you have blogs on your website, I have another client that does blogs every 2 weeks, and then they send out a newsletter featuring those 2 blogs. It's a great way to repurpose information you have. Are you doing videos? Videos, it's a great way to extend the life of videos if you have them on YouTube. Are you doing Facebook posts? Are you doing Instagram posts? It's a great way to, again, repurpose really good photographs you've been taking, videos you've been doing. And it's really important to answer your clients' needs or your customers' needs. That newsletter up above that I showed you, it was clips to things that families might want to do, because boating is very much a family thing. Especially for my clients. So, other family activities in the area that they might be interested in, take a boat to a certain location, and then do something for the day. So if you provide valuable information, that can fill up your newsletter. Remember that you are an expert. You're a fountain of information. Use it and share it. And again, as Melanie said, that will build up the trust rate.
Hey, Janet, I have another question here. So how much can they expect to spend on a source like or a software like Constant Contact on a monthly basis? Is that, do they have a free level, or is it all paid?
Yeah, no, they do have some free levels to start with, and it varies. It's often based on the number of emails or names that you're going to email to. So in other words, how many emails that you house with them. Sometimes it has to do with how many seats are using the account. So, they vary a little bit, but, certainly it's very quick. It's very easy to go and see. You can always start off with something for free and see if you like it, especially if you want to go in and play around with the formats to see how easy it is to upload a list or to, set up a newsletter or set up an email. Definitely start with the free just to see how well it works for you.
Great.
Okay, I think
we have another question here. How to best use both Instagram and email? How can they best complement each other?
Okay, so Instagram, as you probably know, is a very visual content. And the other great thing about Instagram is you can find new people through the use of hashtags. I would use that same idea with your email, right? I would send out emails to people sharing your best Instagram post. You can also send out emails and and ask for, please send us your best blank, your best use of our product, your favorite this, the most beautiful sunset, the best place you've ever been, and then say that you'll give a prize to the person who wins, and then feature that winning post in your newsletter, as well as or your email, as well as on Instagram.
That's a great idea.
All right, so I think we're at the bottom of the hour here, and thank you so much. We know your time is valuable, so we'll end here. We appreciate your joining us, and we hope that you'll join us again for our next webinar, March 12th, when our topic is what is SEO and why do I need it? In the meantime, if you'd like some better results from your marketing or just an overall marketing strategy so you can get more people coming to your business, please feel free to reach out to me at janetgranger.com or to Melanie, and we can help you, even if you don't know where to begin. Thank you so much, and we hope to see you at the webinar in March. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.